We OG, we OG. Oh no, G. You're not bullish enough. Yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Yeah. Experts on reload. Yeah. You're not bullish enough. Yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock. Ayy. Runes is coming. Everybody on a knot. Ayy. It's a nuisance. Ordinal Revolution. Ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, is my guy for real, bro? Got French right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, lock it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me. Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it stop? Nobody knows. It's a revolution. Ayy, Bitcoin is the one, no substitution. Ayy, with Shizzy and Yagobi, it's Ordinal Revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystem. What's up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We are live from the Ordinal Hour, and today just feels different. It feels different for a lot of reasons, and that main reason is we're starting the new year. Yes, yesterday was the first, but people weren't back yet. People were recovering from New Year's night. But today has that feeling. It has that feeling of people are coming back. People are getting excited. And I truly believe you could put your money in anything in crypto right now for the next 6 to 9 months, and you will make money. I'm excited for this, and I think this is an opportunity of a lifetime right here. And I think that's mainly going to be over here in Bitcoin. Right now, you're seeing a lot of stuff with AI agents and stuff like that. It's awesome, but they're just meme coins 2.0. A lot of them, you can ChatGPT is kind of a way better than most of these assets that are trying to scam you by giving you a token, right? But eventually, these AI agents are going to mature, and you're going to be able to do swaps with them and stuff like that. We're going to get into that later. We have an amazing show for you guys today. So without further ado, let's get this thing started. Bringing my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
How you doing on this day 2 of 2025?
Yeah, just I feel revitalized, ready to just jump into some research, and I'm excited. I'm excited to get past 2024. Although I think 2024 was a good year for builders in our space, the Bitcoin ecosystem space, Ordinals, Bitcoin layer 2s, and scaling solutions and stuff like that. I do think that the mind share went away a little bit in 2024, but I think that comes back in 25 because I think a lot of these infrastructure protocols and projects will have a product ready to show the space. So
yeah, 100%. And there really hasn't been any innovation. Do you besides like runes, which you can say is innovation, but besides runes last year, do we have any real innovation in Bitcoin?
Yeah, so not like 2023.
Yeah.
The innovation that we've had were, bridging these layer 1 assets to a chain like Merlin chain that has activity. And then you could say that Track came out with that innovation utilizing ICP as a prover network. But it wasn't like 2023 when we figured out how to utilize recursive inscriptions, curse inscriptions, being able to put like stuff on Bitcoin, like games and actual software and JavaScript libraries and stuff like that. that was exciting in 2023. And I think that we see something like that in 2025, but more of an infrastructure type of, I guess, showcasing of what we have. And, maybe some of these AI agents, like the concept of them can get rolled into Bitcoin, but we can get into that later.
Yeah. So what kind of innovation do you see for 2025 in our ecosystem? Obviously, we have Arch, and today's Arch Thursday. We're gonna have Arch on later today. But like, what innovation can we possibly look forward to this year? Off the top of your head, nothing crazy.
Trustless bridging, that's going to be one. Account
Yeah.
abstraction, I think, is going to be a big showcasing. Being able to use, a wallet that is like a Bitcoin wallet, and you might be able to actually do DeFi like on another UTXO chain, or even, we've seen that in 2024 with Merlin Chain utilizing Unisat and Xverse to be able to do stuff. So that's account abstraction. I think you're going to see that more on a broad basis in 2025. But really, it's going to be the trustless bridging and stuff like that. I think other than that, infrastructure, there might be, a couple original ideas that are narrative based, new, basically, that might come from the Bitcoin ecosystem, because it hasn't come from there recently due to the builders really focusing on infrastructure. So I think 2025 could be that year for that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. What about AI swaps, AMMs?
So that is something that we have been talking about, right? Because the limitations of Bitcoin's tech stack, it could be like a solution to a pain point, right? So depending on what the capabilities could be, and if people are okay with off-chain, code, I guess, like executing tasks and transactions in an AMM style. I don't know. It's so early to really comment too much on this, because we need to see what the possibilities are and how trustless that looks, because the whole issue is trust assumptions current with Bitcoin. So, but if you have an AI that's, decentralized, no bias, you can audit it completely, then you don't need to have this, um, I guess the approach of minimizing or reducing trust assumptions is much easier and more clear, right? Because now you're trusting this AI that is proving to you guys, it shows the code clear as day, that there's no manipulation and stuff happening. But I just don't know how the space would receive that.
Yeah, I hear you on that. But like, what about something like this? You go to a website, right? It has your Uniswap thing there, right? And then you say, I want to trade, Bitcoin for dog, right? It's like, okay, it brings your wallet up, you sign it, you're sending your Bitcoin to the AI. The AI is automatically sending you that dog, right? Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, for me, that would be absolutely amazing. And you can audit the AI, but I don't want this AI to be a chatbot. I don't want you to be able to communicate with it. Nothing. You go to the site, you say, "Hey, I just sent you Bitcoin. You're sending me back dog. We both agreed on it. The AI agreed on the amount. You agreed on the amount. Done. Sent." Can something like that be made over here? And do you think that would be good enough?
I think that's the concept that excites people. But
Yeah.
again, I think the AI framework would have to be really structured towards only those tasks and be really good at those tasks only. You
Yeah.
don't need a super well-rounded AI for that. You just need one that can't be manipulated through
Yep.
chat, can't be manipulated through backdoors, and it's just straight like, okay, what do you want to trade for, right? So it's almost kind of like just really software as traditional style, right? Web 2
Yeah.
software. But it almost kind of circles back to like, is that what we're going to end up going back to? Right. But it'll obviously, software in a Web 2 world, it has logic. It has tons of logic. I
Yeah.
just don't, a lot of times they close the code because it's proprietary. They don't want other people to copy that, because of their licensing, and then they don't want the competition to come in. That couldn't happen. You would have to have it all open source, all shown to the public. And I think that's where it could possibly work that way.
Yeah, because you would need liquidity pools, right? Because the AI is not going to have it on the other side. So the AI would have to manually go to the liquidity pool, take and receive, right? So that's where it gets a little bit on the confusion and stuff like that. But then that's something for someone to figure out, and I think that stuff is coming, and that's what AI gets me excited about. Right now, you've seen a lot of these these AIs that ChatGPT is just better than, right? A lot of them, and we had a conversation before the show a little bit, kind of about like why would you use this over ChatGPT? And you're kind of saying people like the all-in-one place stuff, but like you go to these sites and they're harder to use than ChatGPT anyway. So for me, it's just like, and a lot of these chatbots and a lot of the AI stuff that people are shilling everyone right now, it's just meme coin 2.0. Besides the launch pads. But launch pads are easy, right? Anyone can really create a launch pad. It's just a site where you go, you pay money, and then you get tokens. Do you see any real innovation in AI right now?
So I think a lot of what's happening is pretty pictures are being painted. So
Yeah,
this is more of like the salesman approach of what we're seeing right now, and then the kind of same running the same playbook back for new narratives in our space, which unfortunately happens, right? So you have
yeah,
like we talked about this. You have the AI that is your travel assistant. Probably not going to be something around a year from now. You have the AI that does the data site that shows you the metrics and stuff of every AI project in the space. That could be around, because that's something that people might want to go to look at data. So they're hitting all kind of these like what
yeah,
we deem as like essentials, but they're not necessarily essential for longevity. I don't think some of them will be around just because, like I said, people want to look at data. But the actual ones that become really robust that have like their own like in-depth like platform or operating system, like Eliza boasts that they have an operating
yeah,
system there. Now we see Eliza on Bitcoin as like something, right? So it's going to be very interesting. I think this next 12 months is really going to uh, you know well, I would say the next 3 months is going to show us like if this is a fad or not. Next 12 months will show us like, if the Elizas, the what's the other one called Griffins, those type
yeah.
of AI projects really are what they say they are in terms of substance and future potential.
Yeah, 100%. And like with the travel agent, like Expedia has AI now. It can do everything right there on Expedia, right through an AI. And then when you have data sites like Mizari and these other ones that are already big in crypto, they're eventually going to have everything for you over there anyway. So like why like I just don't understand why people are buying these tokens of these things when eventually they're going to get beat out anyway. I guess that's kind of my point is like there's already stuff here that's better that you don't need a token for. Like you don't need a token for anything in AI right now. Like it's
Yeah,
not
but
DeFi, you know?
yeah, but the crypto industry thrives on speculation,
No.
and that's a problem, and it's an opportunity at certain points of people that are good at like just trading, 3-5x.
Yeah.
And this is like the perfect narrative for this kind of market, right? But I do agree, like these huge corporations that already have like billions of dollars of cash on hand or whatever liquidity, why not if things go mainstream and regulations friendly, why wouldn't they launch a token, you know, for Expedia? We might see that actually
Yeah.
more of like these companies getting involved, and it's going to be hard because if that happens, then these small companies that might not even be anything. So there's a positive. It's like a double-edged sword. The ones that like are actually trying to build something might get pushed out. The scammy ones will get pushed out regardless. But
Yeah.
the corporations with the brand recognition and stuff might end up actually have becoming a big presence in this space.
Yeah, but like Expedia kind of already does have a token, right? It's just on the stock market. Eventually that'll get tokenized. OpenAI, they technically have a token. And it's called shares, right? Shares of the company. Obviously, being you have to be someone who's certain net worth to buy OpenAI and stuff like that. But like, eventually, this stuff is going to become tokenized, and I think that is true innovation and stuff like that. So just if you're out there trading stuff like this, just know that they are trades and not investments. I think that's where my problem is too. I kind of look at everything as an investment, and sometimes stuff's just kind of just trades. So
Yep.
all right, let's get into today's show here. Morgan, this is huge news because this is E-Trade. This was like when I first signed up for stocks. This was the one that I did back in like 2019 before crypto. But it said Morgan Stanley's E-Trade considers offering crypto trading. This is a game changer in my opinion because obviously it's going to be you're probably not gonna be able to withdraw your Bitcoin. You buy it on there, but the people who use E-Trade anyway, they're the people who don't care about self custody or anything like that. But E-Trade potentially becomes a crypto exchange.
Yeah. Yeah. With this plan of BlackRock coming into this new or being a part of this new stock exchange in Texas, and Larry Fink constantly talking about tokenizing, the stock market. It makes sense for these brokers and platforms to already start offering crypto,
Yeah.
because eventually, if things get tokenized, I think there'll still be probably two classes, right? There'll be like tokenized stocks and then cryptos, or whatever they decide to do from a marketing perspective. But it makes sense for these platforms to get their users comfortable with this kind of UI, or UX, I should say. And so this is bullish though for our space. So maybe this is kind of, we're coming out of that .com phase, right? The .com bubble phase, and going into the substance of the internet business phase, right? And that could be what happens the next 2 years. But it seems like you would be happy for that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's true innovation, right? Bringing the stock market on chain, and eventually down the line, I think it'll be easy for companies like E-Trade and stuff like that to tokenize these assets, because in the back end, it's not like you're withdrawing. You're not going to withdraw your Tesla, right? You're going to do everything in the centralized exchange, but in the back end, they're no longer trading papers. They'll just be trading coins. So I think the next step is really just getting these centralized places to just do everything in a easier way of right, of just trading the coins themselves, instead of actually just sending papers back and forth like they do right now.
Yeah.
So all right, this is pretty cool. Plan B, they put out a video this morning, which was pretty awesome. You guys have time to check that video out. But he was basically saying here that this is the RSI. This is the Bitcoin RSI moving average, or realized price stock to flow, right? So he was basically saying in the video that we've not hit the red yet, and the red is RSI between 80 and 85. And he says the RSI usually stays that way for 4 to 6 months. And as you can see back here, RSI was super high. We hit all-time high, all after all-time high. We did have some sideways there, but over here, you know, we're basically right here. He was saying we're basically right here before an absolute explosion that you've seen right here. So he's kind of expecting us to see about 4 to 5 red dots that are all new all-time highs. So one after another, after another, after another. And he's saying the next 7 to 5 months we could see complete red dots with all-time highs each month. Do you see something like this happening? And that would kind of lead us into June, July, maybe hitting 4 or 500K.
I don't know. If me personally, I don't think that 4 or 500K comes that early.
Well, I don't really mean the number. I'm kind of just saying the 4 to 5 all-time high months in a row.
So I do think that we hit an all-time high between now and May, of Bitcoin. And I think it's a pretty decent one. But I do think that we probably hit another one in the late fall, probably early winter. But of course, all that changes if this is truly like an extended super cycle. Because then I think we probably hit like an aggressive peak once this year, and then
Yeah.
again next year. So there's a lot of stuff that's on the table for us to figure out, right? But it is bullish that we haven't hit any red dots yet.
Well, yeah, I mean the RSI, as we still have a lot of room to go. But do you kind of see like a couple months in a row with all-time highs? Do you see like 111, 140, 160, or is this something like that where we're hitting an all-time high for like 4 to 5 months in a row?
I don't know if it's going to last that long. Maybe like 2 months, around
Well,
2 months.
we've seen it back here. Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So 1, 2, I mean that. So if we only hit like 1 or 2, we're
Cooked.
barely over 150,
Yeah. I
unless we
don't know
had
what.
something like that.
Yeah, I just don't know what to expect, yet.
Yeah.
Right. I do think that this is going to be a really bullish year for the entire space. I just, with Bitcoin's top for this year, to me, it's really hard to see. I think that's the hardest thing to see. If we only get to 180 because 2026 is going to be the big year, you know what I mean? Or it's too hard for me to tell. But I don't know. I would say cluster and then a little bit of space, and then another cluster maybe. If I were to just bet anything,
Yeah.
if I had to place a bet, I guess.
Yeah, I'm kind of seeing something like this for 2025. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red dots in a row, which kind of leads us up here, and then maybe some sideways, kind of like here. But I think we're gonna have something like this, but this time we're gonna go up further. So I think we're gonna have 6 dots in a row with like 3 months of sideways. Everyone's gonna think it's over, and then have another 4 or 5 months up here with it's the real top. I definitely see something like that happening. I definitely see some like at least 3 months in a row of all-time highs, in my opinion. And Plan B is kind of saying the same thing. So,
Yeah, we could see that for sure.
all right. Let's get to the next one here. I think this is from Benjamin Cohen. Yeah, he said, ever since the first, let me show this chart, make it bigger. Ever since the first rate cut, DXY and the long end of yield curve has rallied. My guess is that both DXY and longer term yields find a local top in Q1. So this is good news because I that's just something I've been thinking. I don't think we get an altcoin rally whatsoever until we get the DXY, which is sitting at $108 right now, back down at least 8%. Like I think we need to go to like 102 to like $1 again, be in this range for us to really start to see that alt season. There's too much money in the dollar right now. We're talking 8% of the dollar. I mean, that's trillions of dollars. So I think this needs to come down. And Benjamin Cohen saying that we've kind of seen a top. We'll probably see a top here and then kind of come down, whether that's a double top where we go back up to like 112 before we come down. But this could mean we don't have a great January either, unless we can kind of get these dollars kind of working, basically, get these dollars into the market.
Yeah, he said that we're gonna top out in Q1.
Yeah, so this is a statement right here. My guess is that both DXY and longer term yields find a local top in Q1.
Yeah. So I mean, depends, right? So he's saying another top higher than where it was at that peak right there in the middle of your screen. Is he saying like higher than
he's
that?
kind of saying like a double top, basically, and then done.
Yeah. I don't know that. Yeah, that's not good news if that's what he's referring to. But if he's just
Yeah.
talking about like a local top, as in like where we are right now, then that could be where we are, like a 108. But if he's expecting further up, yeah, that's typically doesn't align or correlate with Bitcoin or the rest of the space moving up. So hopefully that doesn't last too long.
I mean, we could see it right here, technically, right? I mean, this can still be considered kind of a double top, right?
True.
Top one and then top here. So it doesn't need to go all the way up to 116, but we could see if we start going up a little bit more, maybe go to 110, and then that's the top, and then we just kind of go down to like 98. But the last time Trump took office, the dollar was at like 104, and then by the end of his term, it was at 99. So we definitely see that the dollar does fall because I think people are more interested in investing when you have a investor friendly president, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like the one thing that I do like about Ben Cohen is that I remember when alts were a little bit more aggressive than he expected them to be. Like he admitted that. Like he kind of came out. I don't know if you remember, but it was like in 2022, I think, or something. And so, like, he is a really good indicator of where Bitcoin is probably heading, because he'll be he's not too prideful to just constantly hang on to what his thesis was if it's incorrect. So I would say once he kind of makes that confident statement that, hey, look, alts are about to pump, that's when I'm definitely going to be paying close attention.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's get to the next thing here. Consolidation. This is from Cryptos R Us here. He had this chart and he said, consolidation phases are essential for Bitcoin's price to climb higher. Stay patient. Bitcoin is simply preparing for its next move. And he basically, that was the first move and this is the second move. And he's actually signaling upward momentum here really soon. So he said basically sideways for like a month or two, and then some upward momentum. But I don't know. I don't see us waiting 2 months for some upward momentum. Do you?
Well, sideways with a teeny bit of downtrend is good for alts, because that's kind of one of the indications, like, well, it can bring dominance down a little bit, and then sets off alts off, and then that's whenever Bitcoin's probably still consolidating and eventually will do its second leg up or whatever, right? So that could be good. I'm just looking closely at alts right now too, just to kind of see, because they have awoken a little bit today, starting late last night to today. You have stuff like Solana that crossed back over $200 that hasn't really seen it in like 3 weeks. And it continued up to like 208. ETH is back to 34 something. And so to me, that's a good sign a little bit, but we need a little bit more aggressive push up, I think, for those coins, and then Bitcoin to continually probably consolidate. Bitcoin blast up right now, probably not the best sign for alts. But it's interesting because right now it's not looking too bad. 90 back to 97,000. But some people were like, I just remember it at like 103 not long ago.
Yeah, 100%. Next piece of news here is pretty big. Robinhood gives 2.5 million worth of Bitcoin to gold members who joined its New Year's countdown. This is something they offered, but this was a surprise gift from them. But the fact that it was Bitcoin was pretty cool in that sense. So they just basically gave all their gold members Bitcoin, and a lot of them sold and got into alts and stuff like that. So got into dog with hat and stuff like that. So I think they were kind of planning on that. They're like, oh, let's get them trading.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool by Robinhood.
Dude, I'm bullish on that. Like
yeah,
they're probably like, look, they pay attention to our industry, right? Even no matter how degen we are, and so they're like, oh, these guys are doing airdrops for their people. Let's do some.
Yeah,
but it makes sense to do Bitcoin because they just want them to have that excitement and exposure because they're probably about to have some degen stuff roll out soon, which would be awesome.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, hey guys, here's free money. Make some trades.
Yep.
Right? Get some volume, which benefits the shareholders. We could show them, hey, we generated more volume in January. But it was funny that they, it's now. It's prompted right now where it's like we need to have a good year. And we'll see. Robinhood was the biggest winner in 2024. I mean, besides Coinbase, who went public. I mean, Robinhood. I mean, they gained so much track. I mean, in 2021. 2021, Robinhood was the biggest winner besides Coinbase, who went public. So, let's see if they can win again in this. I mean, we're 4 years, 4 years from that point.
Mm-hmm.
So, Turkey's leading bank, Garanti, set to offer Bitcoin and crypto trading services. So this is another one. This is like their top-notch bank, and they're going to be offering crypto services, borrowing and lending, and things like that as well. So it's pretty awesome. You're seeing it one at a time. It's no longer these like little shill banks anymore. Right now, you're getting the leaders. So this is just one thing that I seen that I kind of want to point out here. But this is pretty significant, right?
Yeah, a bank doing it. Yeah, I mean,
the largest bank.
Yeah, if it was the U.S., of course, that would be like huge. But like Turkey, yeah, it's still big because if it's a country that has any type of success with its economy and its banking system is starting to do this, this is a really bullish sign.
100%. I agree. All right, let's get into that fear and greed. So last Thursday, it was a 79. Yesterday was a 66. And my hint for you today is we're a little bit more bullish than yesterday.
68.
Pretty close. We're sitting. Oh, there it is. We're sitting at 70. So that's pretty cool. Up a little bit more. Need to get back in I want to see you get back in the 80s and 90s though, but we'll see.
Yep.
All right, let's get into time for some Bitcoin price action, which I'm excited for because I didn't even know we're back to 97. But it's brought to you guys by BitPerp. BitPerp is going to be the leading leverage trading platform in the entire Bitcoin ecosystem. And we had a meeting with them yesterday, and what they were telling us about their January, it kind of blew our minds. Just look out for it, guys. In about 2 weeks, there's going to be big news from these guys. We were definitely blown away by what their next step is. They said a couple things, and it was like, holy crap. This could be huge. So guys, you're going to want to start paper trading with them as soon as it's available. We do think it'll be available this week. I have no indication. Have you checked it today?
So I think they're still preparing for that because I tried to get into the charting, but they're still updating that, but should be today actually is what they're shooting for. So we'll update you as soon as we get an update from those guys.
Yeah, and we'll put it on the show if it is available tomorrow or Monday. We'll do a live tutorial for you guys as well, get you guys caught up. But this is a token. that you definitely want to get the airdrop for, and you can get it by paper trading and stuff like that. So definitely check out bitperp.io. But let's kind of see what Bitcoin is doing.
Yep, let's do it. But before we do that, guys, as always, I'm going to ask for your help to, on the YouTube side, smash that like for us, subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you turn your notifications on so you know when we go live. On the X side, hit that like and share the space. So we want to educate and onboard as many people as possible. Let's get into some price action here. Going to start with the hour chart. Make sure I'm on the right one here. Okay, cool. VRVP is up. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, man, this is pretty cool to see this, right? It started at 4 a.m. Central Time yesterday. So TradFi was off. All the market makers were probably off, but guess who wasn't off? Degen retail whales. And I don't know if they were part of this push up, but it said, hey, we're going to start the year off, right? So we brought Bitcoin, it was sitting at 93, 100, all the way up to 97.3, which is where we sit right now, right? This wick is a little bit higher than that. It's 97, almost 4, but looking very good and healthy too, not just one just long, huge, only green. So there was some little pullbacks as well. But how long does this last for? I'm not sure, right? Because we have TradFi back, we have, the market makers back, we have everybody back, but it looked like we were going to go, all of it was going to get reversed, which we have seen kind of the past 2-3 weeks. But then it got reversed again. So double reversal here. And so we're back to where we were. Now, we are trading above the 50-day EMA here. You can see that with this channel with the purple lines there. So this is good. We got back above that yesterday about 8 a.m. So that should have been your first probably good sign. But when that continuation right here lasted, we're like, oh, okay, this could be something. And now we sit right here, which is a pretty good distance above the 50-day EMA. In terms of the stochastics, it does look like we have exhausted, the overbought territory here. We are sitting at like 50 points on the stochastic RSI with the leading line indicator, the blue one. So it was pointing straight down. Now it's kind of horizontal here. So could see this pop back up. I think the best case scenario, for the next couple hours is to see a little bit of chop with maybe some uptrend again. Probably not going to see anything super aggressive, but I would have said that probably late last night, early, or late yesterday. But we did see that. So the MACD also looks pretty decent, but probably getting to the exhaustion point as well. You can see the MACD blue leading line as well. Tried to point down a couple times, but now we are horizontal. So really, we need to see what the industry's thinking here. The people that are a little bit more in control other than retail, if they want this to go up hyper aggressive, or maybe just some chop and then let some of these alts take off here. But if I were to say second half of today, maybe some more chop with a little bit of uptrend. Wouldn't be surprised if we knocked on the door of 98,000. The 4-hour chart, which is one of my favorites, looks beautiful here. You can see we got into overbought territory on the stochastics on the 31st at 10 a.m. Central. So the past 2 days, it looked like it wanted to dip down a little bit, bounced right back up with this huge run up on the hour chart that we saw. This looks really good. So if this continues, then the hour chart will kind of have that uptrend that I said. Maybe we pass through 98, but this will give us, a forecast of the next 2 days. So heading into the weekend, I think it wouldn't be too shocking if we were over 100K on Saturday, but let's just kind of see how today plays out. And, but that's what I'm seeing for the rest of today and the next couple days here.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely excited. Definitely excited for the next couple of days, especially before the weekend. Tomorrow's gonna be pretty big, in my opinion. I think we hit potentially all-time highs next week. I don't know. I just have a feeling. But we'll see. Let's get into today's roll call. Let's see who's here and first is first. And the guys, I'm marking this down now. I'm gonna see who's the winner in 2025, who has the most ones. And today it is Yasher. Congratulations to you, my friends. Greetings, my lovely community. He says, while ordinary people enjoy the New Year holiday, degens are searching for the whole crypto ecosystem for a new area to focus in. So shout out to Yasher, man. I'm glad you're number one on day 2. Shout out to you, my friend. I'm going to add you to that list and make sure I'm keeping track of all the people who are number one. And then number 2 spot, we have PJNZ. He said, "Oh, graveyard scrapped. I'm back for real. Roll call. Let's go." Shout out to you, peanut butter and jelly time. Appreciate you, my friend. Webdro is here. Ordinal Sweets is here. Says Yagobi and the Bitcoin Bulls. There you go. You're running with the Bulls, Yagobi. And then Bitmap Capital is here. Shout out to you, my friend. You're here every single day this week. Appreciate you. Nighthawk is here. Chota, of course. Nighthawk says GM day 2 road to 700K. He's on a journey to 700K. Shout out to you, my friend. Chota says Green Day again. Alts still in dip. Keep accumulating. Yeah, man, that's the secret formula right there. Tim Baker says Happy New Year. Shout out to Tim. And Nagi's here. We got Mark from Launch Punks is here. Shout out to Mark. He says Happy New Year 2025, 250K Bitcoin. Let's go. I don't think Mark's bullish enough, but shout out to Mark. Lackey Lukey's here with their Billy Cat. Little Steps of Faith. They said I made it to the live show. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Welcome.
Appreciate you. Sixes is here. Zap is here. Hi, gang. Happy New Year. Shout out to you, my friend. Jacob Donahue is here. He says, "It's our epic New Year. Let's go, OG legend." Shout out to you, Jacob. Thank you for being here today. We got the Blonde Bros. What's up, guys? What's up, Blonde Bros? We got Vision Atomo here like every single day. He says, "Hey, boys, make sure you play the market with a little short-term caution. We could dip again before we rip. Hope you are both doing amazing." Shout out to Tomo, man. ASAP Benji is here. He said, "Welcome to the year of the goat." Is it the year of the goat?
I think it's the year of the goat, man. 2025. Look, we've been waiting for this year for 4 years. Right?
A long time.
Yeah. I mean, so we've been through a lot of pain. We've had some relief, but I think we've been waiting for this year the entire time.
100%. Matt's is here. Happy New Year. Roll call. Shout out to you, my friend. Fixed is here. And we got the Nuki says GM DGen. Shout out to you, my friend. I Walk Alone is here like every single day. New strategy, LFG. Fat Khan. Shout out to you, my friend. Happy New Year to you.
Hey.
Fixes again. Says, "My plays are Spore and Cookie for AI. Any chance you can get an AI corner for top 10 plays?" That's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. Yeah, maybe.
Mempool Punk is here. Austin Gray is here with a yo. Pelpa is here. Akala, Fire, Nenderland. Shout out to you, my friend. Thank you for being here today. And we're going to finish it off with the man, the myth, Steamy J. Shout out to you, my friend. GM, to every single one of you guys who make roll call every single day. We appreciate every single one of you guys, man, for sure.
Yep.
All right, let's get into the main topic of today. I've talked about it a little bit, but we'll hit it on again. AI XBT. When do smart contracts get replaced by agent-operated legal wrappers? Basically, he broke it down, and I put it in ChatGPT this morning, and it basically said, AI legal wrapper is an AI that is like follows all the legal structures and does everything a human would do, keeping up with the law and everything else without an actual human there, and that type of thing. Do you think it's something like that happens where an agent is just, these are the laws, you follow the laws to a complete extent, but you make the trades that, people want when they deposit their Bitcoin, they make trades and withdraw, kind of like a decentralized Binance?
Yeah, I mean, this is something that the AI XBT posted himself, right?
Yeah.
So,
and with the month countdown, like he asked you 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, 12 months.
So this is going to be very interesting because this is a way to inject regulation into our space with maybe not seeming like they're trying to have too much control, but like how many people are going to audit these agent-operated legal wrappers, right? So I think there will be, first of all, people that do break them down, especially they'll be like, "Oh man, like don't be for this because of this, and don't be for that." So I think the corporations and stuff that might get try to get involved with this, or the banking system or something, whatever, right, through regulation, they'll be called out really quick, but it could help with a lot of trust in this industry.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Trust that you're not going to get rug pulled, you're not going to get honeypotted and stuff like that, because most people would want to use an agent operated legal wrapper, right? And so that's where I think it would come in. Out of all the chains right now, who could use, a replacement for smart contracts? it's Bitcoin, in my opinion, because we don't even have smart contracts because of our tech stack limitations, right? So if this can work for us, then it solves like having to upgrade the chain. That they're getting a lot of pressure adding opcat and all these things. And so I think Bitcoin actually benefits the most if this is possible, because Ethereum has smart contracts, Solana has smart contracts. In their mind, they're like, we don't need to mess with that side
Yeah.
of things. We can use AI agents for something else. But Bitcoin could really benefit from it if it works.
Yeah. And like if you can you like simply break down what a smart contract does? Like just on a very simple level. What does a smart
Yeah.
contract do?
So a smart contract has logic coded into the contract that performs and executes transactions and tasks autonomously, right? And so it's typically a part of a protocol or a crypto software tool platform like a DEX or something like that, right? So that's the simplest way I could break it down.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, 100% right. Smart contract is just, all it does is, it's something that's there. It's law, right? If this happens, right? That's all it really is. If, if somebody agrees to the swap, they send the Ethereum, we send back the Uniswap token, right? That's the simplest way, right? Or how a smart contract works, right?
Yeah, I
It's
would
just
say, yeah, like automatic execution of
yeah,
transactions.
with no middleman, right? So now you just kind of add a middleman with AI, but the AI has the same coding level as that smart contract, right? So there's nothing that the smart contract can do that the AI cannot, right? And
Well,
if you can kind of code the AI, and they're already doing that with AI XBT, they're already like you can go into the back end and see why he wrote something or he thought about something or he replied to something. It's all in there. And if you can do that same thing with these AI assistants, but you don't want people communicating with them either. It's just this is your job. You work as a smart contract. You're going to follow the functionality of a smart contract. We could have everything Ethereum has on Bitcoin using these AI agents, these
yeah.
agent operated legal wrappers.
So I wouldn't even consider them a middleman, because typically a middleman
Yeah.
has the can manipulate situations a little bit here and there, right? Because the whole point of a middleman is to be able to have opportunity to earn or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I would put it on, like, if it's handled correctly, I would put it on the same level as a smart contract, because
Yeah.
the whole idea would be to make the AI software or tool unbiased, of course, completely, and really just have its single job without any backdoors. That's the biggest thing. If you
Yeah.
can do that and make sure that it's audited with zero backdoors, the code can't be upgraded, the code can't be changed, all that stuff, then it can replace smart contracts.
100%. And it actually can be smarter than smart contracts, right? In a sense of it can figure things out. If something happens, if there's a bug that happens on Uniswap, it kind of gets shut down until someone comes in and they fix the bug. But something like this could actually fix the bug for you and keep everything running smoothly, right? So
Yeah.
that's even another benefit of this.
So, like, yeah, you like what parameters and stuff that you set
Exactly.
for the AI. I think that could get tricky though, because I think like with an AMM, you would want it to be very just execute the tasks, right? And
Yeah.
it know and do that very, very well. And I would probably just try to have it set at that level to where it just executes those tasks. If there's an error, then a human can come in and see where the issue
Yeah.
is, or I mean, maybe there's another AI that kind of scans and checks for errors and stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%. Having a QC one as well, right? You have the one that's making the transactions, doing everything. Call him the smart contract, and then you have a quality control guy, kind of making sure that everything follows up. So you have an AI QC and an AI, and you can have an AI, QC and him. So you can set it up to where you know what I mean, because at the end of the day, they're just different, but they're just different. You're just telling it different things to do, right? You're just saying double check this, triple check this, and so on before these. And this can be instantly. I mean, this can all happen. Him checking him checking him. That can all happen very instantly. Like there's no
Yeah.
time that's needed. You can have a transaction out, within a block. like one
Yeah.
Bitcoin block.
But I
So
would set that initial AI. This is obviously, guys that are
yeah,
listening. This is all speculative and just kind of our imaginations going free here. But I would set that initial AI that's in charge of like AMM and those important tasks, not to interact with that QCA and AI. I would have the QCA AI be for the human, utilized by the human
yeah,
to make any changes or anything like that, right? Just because like you don't want anything messed with on that first level, in my opinion, because when you're dealing with AMMs and LPs and those kind of, that's like, it could be billions of dollars, right? So
yeah.
that's where I think like the human intervention would step in.
Yeah, 100%. But if you just tell the first one that just, this is what you do. You take
This is
from
your
this
job.
pool
Simple.
and you
Yeah.
said, that's it. Like, this is the only thing you can do. And then you can have the other AI kind of accusing it. And another thing would be too, is you could do DeFi stuff as well with this mechanism, right? Because you can just tell the AI, hey, I'm going to deposit, Bitcoin into your system. You're going to go find me the best yield. This is where it kind of could get a little tricky though. This AI goes out and it goes to these different protocols and it says, okay, I can get 30% yield on BitLayer. So it bridges it for you, goes over and stakes it there or wherever, right? And then, when you're ready to pull it out, it can go over there, unstake it for you, and then send it back. That's stuff that these AIs can do. And you're already kind of seeing that with with Emblem Vault and what they're doing with the wallets. It's just another step now where it can point out the best yield, find it for you, and do all those everything for you.
Yeah, that's the next phase of this whole AI narrative is what
AI DeFi.
which ones are the ones that actually can make your life easier,
Yeah.
enhance, innovate the space versus Ponzi-nomics with tokenomics. So I mean, that's what kind of some of this is happening right now. It's really
Yeah.
kind of, just painting the beautiful picture for all these people to buy this token.
Yeah. It's DeFi summer all over again, right? There was projects came out, DeFi summer promised to do this, and that, and they just couldn't. It's just not possible, and you're kind of seeing that right now with a lot of these. But there's going to be big companies that come out and deploy this stuff, right? You're going to see probably like blockchains like formerly Phantom, but now Sonic. With Andre Cronje kind of over there, they're going to implement stuff like this for sure, and it's going to be exciting. I'm actually looking forward to getting kind of out of because all these AI agents right now, they're all just meme coins, right? You go to CoinGecko and you look up AI, it's AI meme coins, and a lot of them are all in there, right? Including Farcoin, which was surprised to both of us that that's an AI meme coin, but but it is. And kind of like what we're just saying, but AI projects currently lack scalability. The majority of AI initiatives with only a few expectations resemble meme coins 2.0. That's kind of my point here is just right now, just be careful. Just know that most of these are meme coins with teams behind them. And you're probably going to get dumped on towards the end of this. And once we reach like peak euphoria, we're going to see that this is going to resemble DeFi Summer to me. Like to the T. And DeFi summer only lasted 3 months before we had like this downward spiral, and then they kind of all the ones that are still here kind of came alive, and then really put themselves in their system. The Aves, the makers, and all the other ones as like true DeFi, and the rest kind of faded. And then we had new ones pop up the entire cycle, right? So
Yeah. I think one thing that we're not just us, but the entire space right now is overlooking is that this new administration's coming in 18 days. How long will it take for the SEC, CFTC, and whatever entities are going to be working together to put together like a strong, good, regulation for our space? Because if you remember back in 2021, whenever it wasn't just crypto that went nuts, the speculative stocks went crazy, right? You had the Nikolas, which was the hydro cell battery semi truck that was supposed to be able to run completely on water and electricity, right? And typically, what happens is, a journalist will raise their eyebrows, go investigate it, and then the SEC will raise their eyebrows, and entities will. So that kind of approach would actually help, because that's actually like a step-by-step approach versus just sending a Wells notice to, Uniswap, right? But I think like as the rest of this year goes on, we're gonna see how long that takes. I hope it's quick, because we're really going to find like some of these, and some of these AI projects will come out probably from that. But a lot of the fluff attempts at fluff won't happen anymore, in my opinion, once that is established. You won't have, oh, I'm painting this great picture that I'm going to be a travel agent, and like you get a bunch of investors to come in, and then you're just like, well, I wasn't planning on doing it or whatever, and you just back off, because then you're going to have like journalists kind of go and research, and then it'll go down that step by step. And I think, this could be the year to where you find some huge gems because of that. And it can get rid of some of that just junk in our space, which it needs to happen.
Yeah, you're kind of putting accountability on these people, these builders, right? You're saying, hey, you put out a product, you put out, an investment, out there. You didn't need to put out a coin, but you did. So now you have to live up to the standard. And if you don't, and if you were scamming the whole time, that's jail time for you. And I think that is what we're going to see. You're going to see a lot. Either the team's going to be anonymous team, right, which we're still kind of seeing a little bit, or you're not going to see coins out until the product's released. And that's kind of what you're seeing right now. You're seeing, especially with these launch pads, it's immediately launched a coin. And then, well, you can see you buy the coin first and you look at the project later, which seems to be what a lot of people are doing right now. But I think a lot of that gets cleaned up. But it's obviously a lot of these are just meme coins with potential, to be something else, because some of them could be doing the right things with the money they've earned, or people invested in them with, but they might not either. So because a lot of the stuff too is like ChatGPT does it. If you can't beat ChatGPT, if you can't beat it in the ways that you're trying to, then you're gonna fall by the wayside. ChatGPT, it's like, why would you use Bing when you can use Google? There's no, you know what I mean? There's no reason to do that. But to your point, though, what you're telling me like pre-show was people like ease of use of things. You can go to the site and you don't got to go find the smart contract. It already has it for you, so you can audit it yourself. That type of stuff will be okay. But I still can see, I would, if I was going to do that, I would use ChatGPT because it's probably a better auditor, right? It knows more. It's smarter.
Well,
it's the best.
Yeah, so I agreed with your Google kind of thesis there. The one area to where I think, specialized agents could go into is that exactly, being specialized for an industry. But it's going to have to be a company that has good salespeople. It's going to have to be a company that can pitch this, right? And so that's where I think it could work out. But yeah, a lot of these will die off, and people aren't going to pay the fees associated on a monthly basis for their AI and all that stuff. And those are the ones that were never really serious in the beginning, in my opinion.
Yeah, I loved what Adam said. He was like, or what was it, Adam? Oh, I forget who. Oh, it was the Black Runner. They said that you're gonna see like so many of these things just die, right? Because no one's gonna pay for them anymore. So they're just gonna die off because in a bear market, no one cares. So it's gonna be like a mass like death of these AI bots, just one after another, and only the strong really survive, which kind of happens anyway, right? So
yep.
All right, the Bitcoin bull awakens. Will runes join in? Do you see runes kind of like, let's just say Bitcoin starts to go up again? We've seen Dog have a 20%, 25% rally overnight there. Do you see the runes kind of making a push here?
Yeah, I do. I don't know how long it's going to take them, but I definitely do see a runes push coming in. It was just kind of weird how runes reacted to the market in Q4. There was a push up, but it was really the popular runes. There was some PvP happening with some of the new runes that would pop up and go away. But that I do expect them. They've already kind of bounced back a little bit. You see Dog, it was sitting at like 620 million. Now it's at 725. Pops is still kind of where it was, in $1 billion cat as well. So I think it's going to be when alts kind of go, right? Whenever alts go, these will probably pump as well. I'm still bullish on runes long term.
Yeah.
Someone was talking about how the volume on CatSwap, the volume on Bitflow, and all these other places that have liquidity are growing, and so it's just going to be that first centralized exchange that really picks Dog up, because I think that's what's going to trickle down to the other ones.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think we need dog to be traded on a centralized exchange, because that'll give it the momentum, right? So, or someone create an AI bot for dog. Leonidas said, yeah, we may or may not have someone working on that. So that was one of the things that stood out to me when he said that. So, do you think something like that, like an AI chatbot for dog that tries to potentially burn the dog coin, do you think something like that would benefit some of these runes?
I think it's gonna have to be a community member that does it, but the dog
Yeah,
community is big enough to make that happen.
100%. I'm gonna give a shout out to you though, because you were telling me about this one a long time ago. Mark's friend Monkey did 133% last night.
Oh wow.
So over the course of a day, so that was you were we were trying to talk about the portfolio, and I was like, I don't really know about this one, like, but you were right, man. You were right. You had that has that AI factor. I want to
Exactly.
so
Exactly. Yeah, there's an AI component to it. So kind of makes sense that it's now taken off, right?
yeah. But Cypher Genesis really, I mean, it's up 33% for $7.4 million. Why do you think Cypher Genesis hasn't taken off? My Cypher Genesis has a chatbot. It had one for over a month. You know, it's Satoshi. You know, they put all the paper Satoshi in there. Like, why hasn't Cypher Genesis really taken off?
I mean, it did. It got to like almost 50 million,
Yeah,
right? I think that's more of like the overall runes uh sector is down a little bit. And
gotcha.
that's why it's just not having like a lot of support to bump up right now.
Yeah. And we're gonna have Butoshi on the show on Tuesday. So look out for that one. It's gonna be fun. Definitely gonna be fun. Going to get into a lot of questions. If you guys have any questions for him about Cypher Genesis, you can put them in the chat now and we'll hold them, or you can come in that day and pop them in as well. But do you see January being good for runes?
I mean, yeah, because I think alts do well in January at some point.
Yeah.
Whether it's week 2, 3, or 4. I think week 1 is kind of going to be like a warm up. So I do think that January does do well. I don't think it's going to be the crazy month though. I think that's probably going to be closer to like March.
Yeah, man. All right. So this is pretty big. CatSwap. So we were kind of talking about this a little bit. Let me show my screen here. This is a tweet from the S-Script guys is kind of what brought this to my attention. But CatSwap by OpCat, right? This is the team that put out the basically the Cat 20 and stuff like that. But you're going to be able to do everything and not just on Fractal, right? So if you kind of go to their site there and then kind of go to catswap.fun, and it's kind of funny they made it a .fun. You're seeing a lot more of that. Cookie.fun and stuff like that. So a lot of people are taking it, but it says here CatSwap by OpCat is the first completely decentralized AMM DEX based on OpCat Covenant on Cat 20 runes, BRC20s, and DRC20. So they're talking about runes and BRC20s, but it's probably the ones that are on Fractal. Yeah, they do say on Fractal. Bitcoin and Doge. Cat 20 is completely decentralized and trustless. All user assets are managed by OpCat smart contracts. Is this a game changer for Fractal?
Yeah. Are they starting there?
Yeah. So it says Fractal, Bitcoin, Doge, but they obviously can't get on Bitcoin yet because there's no OpCat, right? But on or Doge, which is weird. I don't know. So unless they're going to bring DRC20s to Fractal.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Wasn't a part of this post them talking about Bell's chain?
Yeah, so they said Bell, once Bell's chain, it's not here, but once Bell's chain gets this, somebody actually quoted it from this post, and they were basically saying that Bell's gets OpCat first. I mean, this is CatSwap's going to be easily integrated.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's gonna be interesting because some of these are like script UTXO, and some of them are SHA-256. So I wonder if that even matters. Honestly, I don't know. But if this is what they're saying here, this could be big because the biggest problem with the UTXO ecosystem right now is what? It's volume and its user base.
Users,
and then that correlates to liquidity, right? So if they can consolidate like all these chains users, and in theory, what they said was like, Cat 20, the balances don't need an indexer, or these tokens don't need indexers, so they're just the balances are acknowledged by the chains, which is awesome, by the way. So it's like it's almost kind of like an internal oracle, right? In terms of like balances, maybe like the price as well, because it'll be like a
Yeah.
supply and demand factor. But it could be game changing, dude.
Really good. Really could be. I'm excited for it. I think but I'm just kind of not excited for it for Fractal. I'm kind of more excited for Bells. You see Doge down here in DRC20, so why can't they do pop its own Bells, right? So really excited to kind of see where that goes. But yeah. But all right. It is officially 12 o'clock on a Thursday. You guys know what that means. It is
I think
Arch Thursdays.
Yeah, I think they refreshed the thing down there.
Oh, the CatSwap.
Yeah, so yeah, he'll be back. No. Nick, because he popped in underneath, but he bounced out.
He got. All right. Let's kind of get into what Arch is. And we do know they're planning to release in Q1, which is awesome. But if you maybe give a breakdown of what kind of Arch, what is Arch?
Yeah, Arch is a network that utilizes their own network approvers to be able to minimize trust assumptions. The whole point is it's a scaling solution, right? So the whole point is to be able to do things in a more flexible, fast degen way without like necessarily leaving Bitcoin L1. I'm not sure if there's like an internal kind of bridge or anything with that. That's something that we can maybe ask Matt for next time. But the whole point is like you can just do this with your Xverse wallet, your Unisat wallet, and they will have an internal indexer within their network that keeps updated balances and transactions and stuff like that. And they roll up all these transactions and send them to Bitcoin to get confirmed. So that is in a nutshell what Arch Network is, right? So
yeah, 100%. So they're basically taking Solana and they're putting it on Bitcoin, right? So that's basically at the easiest level. That's what it is. And then they're rolling up these transactions that done on Arch, and they're finalizing it on the Bitcoin blockchain. So that's the big thing here, right? You can have something like Solana, it's fun, it's awesome, but the fact that it's finishing up on the most secure cloud system in the world, which is Bitcoin, that's the game changing for me, right? And so just taking these transactions, balling them up, putting in one block, boom, you're good to go, and then you're able to do things just like you would on these other chains in a fast-paced environment, just using Bitcoin layer 1 assets, and it's all kind of done with no bridging or anything like that. So that's the game changing for me. And when you use something like Saturn, if you guys are not playing with Saturn yet, highly recommend it. Matt kind of let it slip that it's like kind of double incentivized with the Arch token and the Saturn token. So you come over here, you can pop a trade in. Let's see how much I have here. Bitcoin for Rune. Submit it. It comes up one. Sign it. One more time. Sign it. Boom. Invalid signature. Check your taproot procedure. So obviously it's still testnet, so we'll see. But without further ado, let's bring up Nick. Nick, welcome back to Ordinal Revolution.
Hey guys, thanks for having me, and as always, thanks for spreading the word about Arch and about all things Bitcoin. So happy to answer any questions you have, including maybe the valid signature thing.
Yes, please, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So obviously, like you said, it is still testnet, and there's some. I wouldn't even call it a bug in the sense that we're aware of some of these things. It's more just there's still integrations that need to be worked out. So the underlying technology concepts and like the whole reason to have testnet is to test this in a real environment. And so our dev team, along with Saturn's dev teams, are working together on this. And invalid signature, like if I saw again like what you pulled up there, it may just be as simple as you might have been logged into a SegWit address and need to be on a Taproot testnet 4 address, right? So let me see here. I'm not sure. Yeah, so like typically, yeah, like what are you on? TB1? What does it say? Yeah, so you're on SegWit.
Yeah.
So there you go. So like on Saturn testnet 4, I mean, obviously you can't trade runes or ordinals on SegWit, so you would have to be on Taproot anyway. But you also have to be on testnet 4 to use any Arch stuff right now. We chose to build on testnet 4 So that's kind of why, sometimes people get those little bugs and those are easy to fix. And then there's other things like, there are times where it's like says, can't confirm on Arch network right now, things like that. And that is something where Saturn is trying to use our, decentralized verifier network and to validate transactions at a faster speed than Bitcoin, right? And that's kind of what you're speaking to, the ability to use base layer assets, but to be able to speed up the process and have it be a pretty seamless user experience. Like that's a huge value add, being able to trade runes at the speed of light, at the speed of Solana and things like that. And that's what we're doing. But in order to do that, you have to also have mechanisms for when transactions wouldn't go through on the base layer because of some sort of settlement issue, right? And so what happens is what we've created is a rollback mechanism. It's going to be allow you to do like 25 transactions per block, all within kind of the Arch validator network, so to speak. You kind of execute within that. It moves very quickly for the user. And then what's really happening behind the scenes is that we're skipping ahead, getting that stuff done, and then settling on Bitcoin, which of course has longer transaction times. But if for some reason it doesn't settle correctly, which happens a very small percentage of the time, just like it does on Solana or something else, right? But if it does happen, then those 25 transactions or whatnot, at least in my understanding, get unwound, right? It's pretty normal, pretty typical how this kind of thing would be done. You shouldn't major. All that would happen essentially is that your sale or buy doesn't go through, and you find out 10 minutes later, right? But the real value here is being able to do so much of that trading experience, fast forward it to actually experience it. And then occasionally you might have a rollback, but that's very common. Anyone who's used Solana or some other, faster networks will understand that that's pretty, that'll happen every once in a while, but it's not like a big deal, right? So that's what we're trying to, integrate. That's where, that rollback mechanism is still something that we're testing and, working with Saturn on. And so, sometimes it's just it's just a process between the apps we're building on us ourselves, and also our infra providers like Maestro to kind of figure it all out.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, obviously it didn't stop the user base from growing on Solana, right? So I don't think I think you're right. It's not going to be like this barrier of entry, in my opinion. I think what most people want is the ability to trade in that seamless, quick environment. So that's awesome. In terms of the internal balances and stuff that like Arch is keeping track of. Do you guys feel like you're getting good responses from the ecosystem's wallets to maybe integrate that into their wallets? Or do you feel like there's going to have to be a wallet product that's delivered that's more for Arch?
Yeah, good question. Well, first of all, I want to, it struck me that, will it be a UX experience that people are upset about if there are rollbacks occasionally, things like that? I just realized, well, in the current system, you use Magic Eden or whatever, you wait 10 minutes and you might get sniped, which then cancels the transaction anyway, right? So,
Yep.
Everyone's used to not always getting what they want, right? But the nice thing is now you'll be able to find out much faster and you'll be able to do more transactions at a much faster speed and you won't have the issue of sniping, things like that. So that's just one thought on that. And then as to great question about wallets and things like that. So the cool thing is that like we made this UTXO based for a reason and integrated and have been working very closely with like the teams at XFirst and things like that to be aware of their needs. And I'm pretty confident in saying that for all base layer assets like runes, Ordinals, things like that. Like again, you're just doing this out of your wallet. When you're on Saturn, you're logging the Unisat, you're trading stuff, and you don't really have to integrate or you don't have to worry about any types of other assets, right? So for those types of assets, shouldn't be an issue. In the app itself, like until it sells on Bitcoin, I guess you could make the argument, well, like if you were just looking at your browser extension wallet at Unisat, okay, it doesn't change until it sells on Bitcoin. But what you're going to have is you're going to see all that activity on your wallet and then it updates on the Bitcoin wallet, right? I mean, sorry. Let me rephrase that. The in-app wallet, which is still the Unisat, right? You'll see all the transactions. You'll see things update as fast as you're doing them, right? But then, if you check your Unisat browser extension, maybe it takes as long to sell on Bitcoin. But the reality is, either way, you're not having to change wallets. You're not having to do anything different. What Matt has talked about before, and what very well could be a thing too, is if there are like Arch specific or Arch native assets that exist, fully within that execution environment, those are going to be assets that wallets will have to build integrations with. It'll be just as simple as what they've done with Stacks, where you just create an indexer that indexes for that, right, and shows it in your X1st wallet. You can also see your Stacks assets, right? Things like that. Just like when you switch from Runes to PRC20s or something like that, you can kind of just see it in a different format. But most native assets, shouldn't be a real big difference at all.
Awesome. Yeah, that's what I was hoping to hear. So you said Arch assets. So that makes me think that there's going to be a fungible token standard within the network. Will there be like a version of Runes that will kind of be represented by that standard as well?
I think the cool thing is like there could be, right? So it's really up to the app developers and the projects themselves to decide what they want to do, right? So this is all created to allow us to use the Bitcoin assets that we already know and love, and also to be able to use native Bitcoin, right? So that's going to be the first use case. But there will be kind of a token standard you could wrap around things, certainly, and that would allow you to have it be, that's kind of why I mean more like an Arch native asset. It's still something that is very transmittable to Bitcoin, obviously, and all of our transactions are anchored in Bitcoin, and we maintain Bitcoin state, so we're always aware of what's happening on the base layer. But if you want to operate like at the maximum speeds and full trading experience that you were talking about earlier, yeah, like you basically create a token standard within Arch, or you tap into our, you kind of wrap it into our standard or whatever. But that's again, like that's more, I think we mentioned on previous shows, Arch is a choose your own adventure type of experience. And that goes for both the developers and the users, right? So the developers decide, hey, we think the types of users we want to attract are going to want a more trustless experience. Okay, we're going to do all Bitcoin native stuff and only that, and traditional experience, and that's fine. And the trust assumptions are going to follow. And if you want to do something more all within the Arch network and do something really trippy, like some horse racing game where you're gambling live, and at each step of the horses thing, you can change your bet. And, I don't know, right? But, it may make more sense to wrap the assets in some sort of token standard, and there will be some sort of Arch token standard you can wrap into.
Interesting. Yeah, it sounds exciting, actually. So it's basically solving one pain point while also creating a new opportunity for another asset class as well. So pretty cool.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, so in previous shows, you guys said you guys are expecting Arch to kind of go live on mainnet in Q1. We're officially in Q1. Are you guys still leaning towards Q1, or is it you guys thinking about pushing back a little bit? Is there any update with that?
Shizzy, that is like a fantastic win as soon as possible. That was the nicest way you could have said that without like triggering me, because it gets so annoying answering those questions sometimes.
I know.
But no, but that was well put, because we are officially 1 day, 2 days into Q1.
We're here.
You are correct. We're here. Come on, man. No, I can honestly say that obviously Q1 is still the plan, and I talked to Matt about it this morning. We're thinking probably, I think the earliest would be late January, but more likely early February is what we're aiming at. And really, like when we look at it, it's been a big success with Saturn and Funky Bit. We're looking to integrate some more apps. Talking to a prediction market right now and trying to get them over the finish line, some other stuff like that. So we want to have a few more options too. And even once we launch on mainnet, we can kind of trial stuff on testnet and then have them join the rest of the apps on mainnet. But what we're looking at right now is probably early February. And no real big technical changes. The main thing right now is just making sure that this, and this has never been done on Bitcoin base layer, which is what makes us unique, but also what makes us trying something new that requires testing. But that rollback mechanism is really the big thing right now. And there'll be some other exciting stuff that we work on once that's kind of squared away. But that's the thing we're testing and kind of working with Saturn on. And I just got some word today, actually, that we actually did ship an update from the Arch developer side to that rollback mechanism. And we just need to test it on testnet and Saturn is integrating that with their indexer right now, which their indexer is having some stuff they have to work through. So as soon as, that's just like an update thing. So once they've updated that, once they've tested this new update, fingers crossed, everything works. And, once we clear that major hurdle, I think, the rest of it becomes much smoother sailing. So that's kind of what we're working on this week, maybe next, and hopefully be ready to put some stuff on mainnet once everything's running smoothly, hopefully February.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised by that. Like, I was kind of expecting you to say late March, right? So, for you guys to be ready in February, we're only like 30 days away from that, right? Maybe 45 days mid-February. For me, that's amazing that you guys are able to even like think about getting in February, because you guys are building something that really hasn't been built before, right? I mean, people have tried, but it's never really to the extent of you guys did. So I'm very happy with that answer. Mid-February sounds awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're super excited about it. And you're right, it's a challenge, but the nice thing is that there's no reason, we haven't seen anything that would like make us be like, oh shit, like we gotta go back to the drawing board. Like it's actually pretty much in line with what we expected. It's just making this integration happen.
Yeah. Shizzy said that no one else is building what you guys are building. There's definitely products that are similar, right? One of those products was released, I would say maybe like 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, and was it the tap ecosystem, right? And so they leveraged the ICP's kind of already existing tech stack to utilize that as a prover network, and it didn't really get the response maybe that they expected, or even what I expected in terms of the user experience. Are you guys looking at that kind of what they rolled out and then comparing that to what you guys have? Is it similar, or do you feel like you guys are shooting for something more, similar to Solana experience altogether?
Yeah, great question. And there are two things I'd like to think about here. One, if you are building something that you're convinced the product is great and game changing, I'll be honest, you don't spend much time thinking about the other products, right? So, I do, obviously I'm aware of TAP, I'm familiar with some of their process, definitely understand that with ICP, they've, integrated some things that should be possible that are similar to us. Like the big breakthrough, obviously, for the whole, Bitcoin ecosystem would be Bitcoin DeFi specifically would be AMMs, and that's something that they're tapping into a bit, right? But I'd be curious, just why do you think that the user experience for them was not attractive? What did the users who were more involved in the ecosystem, why do you think that they were let down? And I'd be happy to tell you kind of where we differ from that.
Yeah, so I would say the steps that it takes. I think it took about 3 or 4 steps to do a swap. And to me, I think that's just, and then you're waiting on the blocks too in between, right? So for me, I still think that even though you are swapping through a liquidity pool, it just wasn't it wasn't even anywhere close to that Uniswap type of experience. And I think that's what was the biggest letdown, right? Obviously, liquidity not being there as well. So those two things, because you could wait maybe a little bit longer, be patient if the liquidity was there, knowing that you can trade more things. So those are the two main things.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. And Speed Racer's been talking about this, if you're familiar with him, about like how exciting it is to have swaps if the liquidity was there. And he's been trying to encourage more people like, hey, like liquidity is really only there for the dog ecosystem. They were the ones who have been most active in actually making liquidity happen. He was kind of pushing other ecosystems. I know Pups has also been making a lot of momentum there to have enough liquidity to actually do decent swaps and not have so much slippage. So that's kind of like, yes, like they're solving one part of the equation, and in a perfect world where they had the liquidity for lots of different types of runes, and that would be great, right? And so that is something that's going to be super powerful. And I think you really nailed it on the head. Is the challenge, of course, right now is, okay, can we get liquidity in that enough where you're not losing money every time you do it, and you're not losing it in such a drastic way? But then two, do the slippage, of course, or you just simply can't like pull it off anything, right? And then secondly, of course, is the speed. And you talk to like Jack Liu, right, or like these other guys in the ecosystems who, are pros at understanding product. And the reality is like, yes, AMM swaps are going to be valuable, and I mean, like that's a huge part of what we're offering. But we're also offering the fast speeds and the ability to do it without all these multi steps, right? I mean, you've played around with Saturn Shizzy, and obviously there have been times where it's been down because we're waiting on the rollbacks and stuff. But when it's functioning correctly, right, it is a pretty simple process. I can make the swap. I can instantly go into liquidity pools and add and maybe use that new token that I just swapped for to add to a liquidity pool. Or if I wanted to do something else, like take a DeFi loan out or something, I could do that, right? And that's really exciting too. I haven't mentioned that yet, but you don't see that functionality right now because all you have is Saturn and FunkyBit live right now. But when we have like DeFi loans and things like that, through Ordbit and some others that we're working with, right? Then you're going to be able to actually make that trade on Saturn, just like you would on Jupiter and Solana. Then you take that asset, and as long as it's all like interoperable between the Arch ecosystem, right? Even if it hasn't finalized on Bitcoin, it should be pretty solid where you can then go ahead and, put that into, let's say you stake it in Orbit or something and take out a loan against it, right? And to be able to do that in under 10 minutes and to be able to do that across different apps because they're all connected through the Arch validator ecosystem, but they're still finalized and being attached to Bitcoin, like that's going to be pretty crazy. And that's not something that's very easy to do, but that's what we're able to do because we're able to move ahead. We're able to start working on the next transaction while still anchoring everything on Bitcoin and finalizing everything on Bitcoin. And again, without ever taking bridge risk.
Yeah. I think that's the difference between utilizing existing tech versus kind of customizing and creating your own from the ground up.
Yeah, that's what we're able to do is that, we could actually work with native assets while still being able to move faster because we create a UTXO-based system, right? And that's something that just, ICP is super broad. You don't have that kind of functionality the same way.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of the biggest problem with Taproot Swap is like you have to wait the 10 minutes. Arch isn't making you wait that 10 minutes. You're like, here, you're good on Art Network. There's no need to wait to finalize. Finalize can happen, later, and then that way you just like kind of you just said, I make my swap. Let's just say I get dog, I take dog to the staking pool, I stake it. So everything just kind of happens in that one rolled up transaction. I made 3 transactions with the same token, but it's all happening basically in one transaction that gets rolled up later.
That's right. And then there's also something here that people need to understand because sometimes like if you've never had something, you don't know what it's supposed to look like, right? And so if Bitcoin ecosystem has never had a fully functioning DeFi system, they don't understand always why the speed matters as much. It's like, okay, well, maybe we can accept tap, but the problem with tap or anything that still is settling at the 10-minute block time or whatever Bitcoin takes is that you're not going to be able to pull on liquidity as quickly or instantly, right? So here's how liquidity actually works. It's not just about did you convince enough people to contribute to a liquidity pool. It's how Aave works is it pulls its liquidity from all these other websites, all these oters apps that have stakers, right, and have these people offering liquidity. And so what you can do when you're working faster within a network, right, is you can instantly make those pulls, or you can do it very quickly, right? And so you can't have really functioning, vibrant liquidity. I mean, you can, but it's not going to be as deep as it could be. If you want real deep liquidity, you have to be able to move quickly and be able to connect different apps within the ecosystem. And if every app built natively on Bitcoin without the assistance of an execution engine like Arch, if every app on Bitcoin was trying to interact with each other, each one of those requests for liquidity is going to take that 10 minutes, right? And that that really makes a huge difference. So we're talking about deep liquidity, which is something that Tap will struggle to have because of those limitations. And it's all about like, how do you tap into the full potential of Bitcoin's liquidity? Well, you have to have technology that actually is able to do so quickly enough to make that liquidity accessible.
Great answer. We do have a question. I'm going to let you go here in a little bit because I know it's the day after New Year's, and so everybody's traveling and stuff. But we did have a community question here for you. It's from our longtime community member and mod here. He says, for community missions, I have 5 debauchery ordinals, but not in the wallet for testing with. I don't want to transfer them for Discord reason. Is there any way I can link wallets to get XP points? So I think he's talking about the testing.
Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah, no, I know what they're talking about. So it's for our points program. We have a community mission where if you're the owner of 5 debauchery frogs, you can get some extra points. And the answer, unfortunately, is that you do, well, it's not unfortunate, but it's just that you do need to have the wallets, the frogs in your wallet. It's because we have an API that checks the wallet address to see whether it has them. This is meant as a joining bonus and incentive for people to, come on the network. If you don't feel comfortable moving those frogs into that wallet, I totally understand, but you don't have to keep them in your wallet. So if you want to move them over to the wallet, complete the mission and then send them back to your wallet for, they said Discord reasons, which I'm not sure exactly what they mean, but it may be that, like, I'm a debauchery frog member myself, and I'm pretty aware that they might do a snapshot at some point for, like, some sort of other benefit, and maybe they're worried about moving it out of their wallet in case that snapshot happens while they're doing it. But you should be able to move your frogs into the wallet. You will have to wait an hour because the Ordinals API that we use, obviously, they don't instantly know that you've changed wallets, right? So that takes an hour. You'll verify the mission in our thing, and it'll be able to verify correctly after an hour, and then you can do whatever you want with your frogs after that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because of the 5. You have to have 5 to be able to get into that special part of the Discord, maybe. But you can move them back and forth.
You do, but you can move them back and forth. And also, I'm pretty sure the Discord doesn't boot you as soon as you switch your stuff out of the wallet. It's a one-time check kind of thing. So.
Gotcha. Awesome. And then the last question, sorry, I didn't see this one, but Alex Paz says, can we add XP points to the Fluid Pass holders, please? I guess he's asking because Fluid is announced that it is going to be building on Arch Network. So is that something that you guys could consider maybe in the future?
You know what? I can't see. I'm not sure if Alex is one of the core Fluid members, or the person asking the question. I'm not sure if they're a member of the community or if they are one of the core builders, but I will say that we have announced a partnership. We're really excited to work with Fluid, and maybe we talk about that when Fluid's got their testnet app live, and they've integrated fully with us, and people can use Fluid, and I'd be more than happy to talk about giving them some more rewards. We've already done some partnership announcements, of course, but let's get them on testnet with the functioning app. And I know that they're hard at work at it, but let's see that, and let's get them on mainnet, and happy to talk.
Yep.
Yeah, we're partners with Fluid too. We have weekly meetings with Raul, and he was telling us this morning that Fluid now has a team that is working solely on Arch, and that us was that blown us away because Fluid, they're working on Cardano, they're working on L1, and now they actually put the resources together to make sure they're building something on Arch. And that was another indication to me that, well, Arch is definitely something to pay attention to.
Absolutely. I mean, Fluid has already, shown themselves to be a good partner, and we're really excited that, and they're taking it so seriously because of the opportunity. I mean, Cardano has its, own opportunity, but I think people recognize that being able to do things natively on Bitcoin, and, Fluid tokens is especially interesting because they're seeing the value because you don't have to do 3 clicks, anymore on or 3 signatures or whatever in order to do loans. And in fact, on native Bitcoin, the problem is that, right now you both have to be online at the same time, which is crazy to think about. But you have to both, the buyer and lender have to be online to sign, and you have to both send the signature twice. And it's just this messy process that will not work long-term for, being able to do deep liquidity and do something really exciting. So that's why they're building on us. That's why we're really excited to have them. And let's, as soon as Fluid's ready and we've got a testnet app to promote, I think I'm more than happy to also, give some more shout outs to Fluid Pass owners. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, no, I mean, the only other thing I'd say is we've had a few projects do exactly what Fluid is doing. Saturn actually even sent their lead developer to Morocco, where our CTO is based, to work hand in hand with him for a month. I think it was at least a month. It might have been longer. That's how bullish people are on the technology, and we just gotta stand and deliver, and we're hard at work doing that ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. That was one of the most exciting things that they talked about was the instant loans. So skipping those clicks and steps and stuff is going to be big for them. But we appreciate you, Nick. For jumping on and spending time with us. Any final words, I guess, for the audience on maybe some expectations to set for Arch upcoming?
I think that the expectations are already high, and I appreciate that. I think, Q1 is where a lot of action is going to be happening. Stay tuned. We have some announcements rolling up. We have some really great partners. And I'll just say that the great partners that we're bringing on pretty soon here are not just apps, and not just what you'd expect. There's going to be some pretty big announcements in the next few weeks. So definitely stay tuned. If you're looking for high signal, let's just say that the signal is going to be through the roof the next, I can't say too much, but next 2 or 3 weeks, I think, is probably the timeline. So if you need any more confirmation that some exciting stuff is happening, well, keep your eyes open. And I can't say too much. It's hard as a marketer to not know something and not be able to say it, but pretty soon. So the good thing is that people can tune in and hear the latest every week here on Ordinal Revolution. So it's
Yep.
There we go.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you, sir, and we'll see you next week.
Awesome. See you next week.
All right,
Thanks,
take
Nick.
it easy. That's awesome.
All right, that was fun.
Yep, and we got Haas down from Ordies that we're going to bring up. Speaking of loans, this is going to be a cool product on Arch Network. So let's welcome Haas from Ordies up on stage. How are you doing, Haas?
GM, yeah, good in the hood, busy. It was interesting to see kind of Nick speak about Arch and the plans, and I was super intrigued with the question when you asked, "Are we still on track for mainnet in Q1?" Because
Gotta know.
had the same question. So I think everything is cool with Arch, and then I think I don't know what's going on internally, but looks like we're still on the same track with everything, and I guess it's important for us as well. In regards to how we've been extremely busy, I guess we did take a little bit of a break, I guess, because the whole world took a break from like the 20th up until probably next week. But we're still taking some VC calls, which is good. I guess VCs are still out there. But yeah, I guess since the last time I spoke, we've been busy with development. So yeah.
Real quick, just so just kind of catch anyone else who's kind of new to you guys. What is Ordies and what exactly are you guys building?
Yeah, amazing. So Ordies in short is, sorry, give me 1 second. I'm just catching my breath. Oh, there we go. So we're a Bitcoin liquidity protocol, and our first product or our first feature is a buy now, pay later for ordinals. So in short, allows you to purchase a fraction of an ordinal, or let's say you want to do one, or you only have the money to purchase up to 20%, and the remaining 80% is given to you via Ordies. We're then using Arch Network as an escrow service. And then, of course, in regards to the other side where we managed to get the 80%, we're allowing individuals who own and hold BTC, allowing them to earn a native yield directly on the layer one. So I guess that's the kind of beauty of Arch and working with them. But of course, what we're doing now is making sure that we're on the layer one as well. So that's a nice and short introduction, but the buy now, pay later, of course, is our first feature and the long list line of products that we have. But of course, we're excited to introduce this to everybody out there.
Yep. And so, the biggest features are what you just broke down was the, having the ability to own fractions of maybe ordinals that would be out of your price range if you were to try to purchase the entire ordinal, and then earning, native yield as well with no bridging. So that's the obvious attraction of building on Arch. How do you feel in terms of your protocol, like in terms of readiness? Are you on track with kind of Arch? Do you feel like you guys will be ready when they will, or do you might need a little bit more time, to roll out your mainnet?
Yeah, no, I think we're good. I think we should be testnet ready by the 20th. Our developers have been working solid through the Christmas period. And that's because not only do we incentivize the developers with a monetary value, but we also are looking to give them something more than that. So be a part of actually the Ordi's company itself, right? So the developers actually want to go and work because they know that they're seeing more value from the product itself. So that is super exciting on what's happening with Ordis as well. I mean, the developers have been working strong for the last couple of weeks now. We're hoping for like the 20th of March to be completely testnet ready. Some alpha, we are in deep discussions with one of the biggest marketplaces, or the biggest marketplace. I'm not going to throw any names out there, but I'm sure we all know who we're on about. There's some kind of magician on an Eden kind of thing going on. But yeah, that is a super cool conversation that we're having at the moment. So yeah, it's definitely, the pot is definitely boiling at the minute. That's probably the thing. And in regards to kind of ready for Magic and Arch Network, yeah, for sure, we're on the same timeline, I would say.
Gotcha.
So how does it work exactly? If you don't mind, to say I want to buy a puppet. The puppet's 0.115. I only got like 0.05. How does this work?
So first of all, a puppet is a very good example. So that we're working with a PhD mathematician at the moment, which is crazy because someone like that is gonna really bring value to us, but also allow individuals for us to be safe as well. So for example, there'll only be the top 20 or 10 or 10, 20 collections that you're actually allowed to utilize this for. Firstly, we have to do a DeFi risk analysis. But let's say the puppet is worth 1 Bitcoin. And you say, you know what, I only have 0.2 Bitcoin that I have. And you can then say, oh, actually, I've seen a puppet, the floor price is whatever, but I have that 0.2. I'm going to go and purchase this. So you would then go and select the option for, let's say that's 20%. So you put your 0.2 in, and it would give you the interest rate for that ordinal. Now, let's say you borrow 20%, now 80% of that would, of course, be paid by Ordis. Now, in terms of what would happen to your ordinal, so you would actually have full custody of that ordinal. The only thing, of course, that you wouldn't be allowed to do is take that away from the escrow, but you can list it, you can sell it if you want it, if you got a good price for it. And of course, it's a way of kind of, I guess, being a bit of a degen, but at the same time, like I mentioned, I think on the last call, there's 3 different types of investors, right? There's a short, a middle, or a medium, and a long-term investor. And I guess this really appeals to all of them. So if you're a short-term and you think, okay, cool, I've got 1 BTC, I'm going to buy a puppet, a node, a Fokradin, or whatever they are, and XYZ, and I'm going to buy 3 or 4 ordinals for 1 BTC, and I'm going to play around with them. I'm going to list one, I'm going to make a bit of profit, blah, blah, blah. This now gives you the ability to be that individual and do this. So that's something that's super exciting for us. It's allowing a new avenue in how ordinals are being traded. And that's why we're super excited to kind of build this as soon as possible.
Yeah, I love it. So not only can I, obviously get it cheap and then hold it and pay it back, but I can actually go long. Let's say I have 1 Bitcoin, I can get 5 puppets because I'm super, I think the next couple months or next couple weeks, these are going to explode in price. I can potentially take a long out and not have to pay the 5 Bitcoin. I just kind of pay the 1 for the 5 and then pay back, obviously, the interest.
Yeah, plus interest. And I guess that's kind of where this whole strategy comes from, right? So you've got some individuals who are going to be a short-term holder and want to flip their ordinal really quick, maybe in the next an hour, maybe 2 hours. I mean, if I look at kind of my history into NFTs, I remember the stage when I was using, I forgot what it was called now, but it was like a community. It was like a sniping community or a trading community where you would, sweep the floor, trade the ordinals, the bot would kick in, you'd buy the ordinal, the NFT at a certain price, and then you'd have competition, and then you'd just basically sweep off the top, right? And that is going to similar to what NFT, all the trends that we had on the NFT cycle on Ethereum. I think Ordinals will eventually have the same thing. I think that's what we're trying to do, to bring that that fun to the Ordinals itself.
Yeah. And as somebody who's a Bitcoiner, now you're giving me an opportunity to earn yield on my Bitcoin as well.
Correct. That's right. Yeah. So, for an example, I think the going rate at the moment is probably between 1% to 2%, because, or hopefully, if the volume is good on the buy now, pay later side, which we are predicting will be, we will be able to give a higher yield bracket or a higher yield percentage than what you're currently getting in the market. So I think if you really look at individuals who hold Bitcoin, of course, yes, there's probably higher ways you can earn money in the crypto ecosystem, but individuals who hold Bitcoin don't really want to get rid of it too soon, right? They would rather just keep it there, and they're looking for ways to earn that yield from it. 1% to 2% is what you're going to get around the industry at the moment. I could be wrong, but that's just kind of a rough outlook of how it is. Go on.
That's pretty good though, because it's not APY, it's not the year, right? It's per puppet, right? Or per loan. So
Correct.
So if I do one a month, that's 12%.
Well, yeah, potentially the maths are still being worked out. I don't want to put anything in there. It's kind of like it's a free flowing kind of thing at the moment. It's like what works best, what doesn't work best. I guess you've got to really look at this, and that's why we've really bought this really smart individual to our team, right? Because we as a platform, we can't afford to lose on 80% of the value we give, because not only do we lose it as a platform, but most importantly, an individual who has staked their Bitcoin, he doesn't lose it, but we've got to fulfill that Bitcoin to him back. So realistically, the last thing we want to do is Bitcoin's at 100, 125K, is be like, oh, well, by the way, we just lost your Bitcoin. He's going to be like, well, okay, well, what's going to happen now, kind of thing. As a company, it doesn't make sense. So we've really got to make the numbers crunch on this, and that's something that we're actively working on. So not only is just the development of something like this, and it does sound, oh, well, how hard can it be, right? If you look at this, is like, you've got the buy now, pay later feature on one side. You've got the lending feature, which is the yield aspect of this on the other side. And then in the middle, you have the brains, right? Which is like, okay, if I lend an ordinal, or let's say the 0.2, how much interest do I need to give, or how much interest do we need to take off the individual to then give the Bitcoin individual who's staked his Bitcoin to earn the yield, his native yield percentage. But then the other aspect of this is, how do we make money? So this whole maths is going on now, and I'm happy we kind of jumping on these calls, because eventually I'll come in and I'll say, hey Shizzy, we have the answer for this kind of thing. We do have the answers back end, but it's like, okay, we have the concrete answer now. This is what we're going to be doing for the foreseeable future. So it's going to be kind of, and to be honest with you, it's not a fixed markup when it comes to kind of interest and stuff like this. It's going to be different for different ordinal collections, as you can understand.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
For sure. I got one final question, Yagobi. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm just blown away by this. I love it. So what happens if I give a loan out. This guy comes in with his 0.2. He buys the puppet, and then kind of like maybe loses his wallet access, or doesn't show up again. He's just gone forever. What happens with that 0.2 in that puppet? Because you guys still hold that puppet, right? Because it's not in his wallet. You guys can unlock that, and then the 0.2. What happens with that as well?
So let's say, for an example, you own the puppet. Let's say Shizzy owns the puppet, and he gets a request coming in from Ortiz that says, Yagobi wants to buy the ordinal. So realistically, Shizzy, you're not going to ever see that the ordinal wants to be bought for 0.2. You're going to only see that the ordinal wants to be bought for 1 Bitcoin. So for you, you've sold that ordinal now, right? Now, realistically, you've got your money, okay? And you're happy doing what you need to do. Now, when it comes to the aspect of, okay, this guy loses his wallet and liquidations. So realistically, he's not going to be paying the interest because he's lost access to his wallet. And more importantly, if the ordinal drops in value and it triggers the liquidity aspect of this, then of course he would lose that 0.2, and that ordinal would then be sold on the open market to make sure we can pay back ourselves. But most importantly, the interest that's on this that then goes into native yield. So it's a whole mechanism. Unfortunately, don't lose your wallet. I guess that's probably the best way to put this. But no, it's a valid point, right? It's like we would love to protect people against this, but we've got to understand that we've seen floor prices go from 15, 20, 50 ETH down to 5 ETH and maintain that 5 ETH instantly in a click of a finger, right? So we need to make sure that we can ultimately be at that top range model where we know, okay, cool, the mechanism is in place. As soon as we see that liquidation barrier being hit, boom, we've sold that ordinal, and then everybody in the whole kind of mechanism is being paid out for. And I guess that's going to be how one of the ways we're going to be profitable as a business. But more, I guess really it's not really being profitable at this current stage. It's not something we're thinking about. It's like, how are we going to do this and maintain value, maintain a client base or a customer base, and then also making sure everybody's happy. I think that's the key things that we're really focusing on at this first stage.
Gotcha. Is there any way for you guys to, when I create an account, I can put up multiple wallets?
That is a conversation we had with somebody, actually, our development team picked it out. That will be something that we're going to look into. I guess it will be multiple accounts.
Gotcha.
Or it might be a feature,
Connect
but I guess
the accounts together.
Yeah, if you're integrating kind of, because like as an example, one of our ecosystem lead, Andrew, he is an NFT collector, but he has multiple wallets. So he's like a bit strange where he has his Sands in one wallet, he has his Ordinals in one wallet, he obviously, or he has, his apes or whatever in different wallets, right? As an example. So again, that would be an issue for us. I think with the Ordinal side, I guess it's more about wallet integration. So we're going to be integrating with every wallet out there. And then I guess that hopefully should make things easier. But as part of the interface, it's one of the questions that we're having, and we're going to hopefully solve that issue as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yep. I only have one question, and you might not like the question because, project, I guess BDs and founders of projects kind of dance around it, which is fine if you don't want to answer it. But, people associate tokens with projects, right? So let's just say if you were to launch a token associated with ORDs, would you launch a Bitcoin Rune, which would be native to L1, and then you can bridge over to Arch, or would you launch a native Arch token standard token?
So this is a really good question, actually, and it's come at a really good time. So we've initially started with the whole conversation of, we're going to have a token and the token's going to do X, Y, Z utility. And really our token made more sense if we were looking to have our own marketplace, which would then in essence be, would be like a collateral boost, or it would be some kind of governance token. Now, the question that really has come into our line is, and it was answered by we have a very good advisor on our panel actually now, who said, how many tokens have you seen that had this fake volume, got dumped, and the token went dead, but the product was really good? But because the token went dead, it also took the product with it. So now we're actually having this discussion on why don't we utilize some of the other models that we've seen, where mainly we focus on right now is traction. We focus on growing that user base and that foundation. And then later on down the line, we would think about token as a utility and how that would work. I guess our approach has slightly changed because of the couple of conversations we've had. Now, not only can this product be used by ORDs users or users on one marketplace, but it also has intrinsic value, not just only to the L1, but the L2. So I guess it's turned from a B2C perspective, which I really love, by the way, because I hate communities, not like that, but I hate like the whole kind of community building aspect of things, getting rid of bots and, out of 10,000 people, you might have 100 or 200 people that are actually genuinely in there interested. It's difficult to really get it going. I guess this now turns into, do you need this? Does it work on your platform? Can we integrate? Yes or no? And it's that simple. It's more like it's like installing your Ring doorbell at home, right? Which kind of bracket do you need? Do you have a kind of curved wall? Do you have a straight wall? Do you want it up, low, down? And that's simply how it's going to be with us, I think. Again, it's all in the process at the moment. We're still in building and conversations are ongoing. So in regards to the token question there, it's all up in the air. But if we were to do this, it would be dependent, of course, on Arch. to a certain aspect because we're supportive of Arch. It's something that needs to be, we need to align with Arch for this. But of course, we're also going to look at, okay, who holds the most volume, what's the best token to launch on? It was like the whole BRC20 situation, right? Great hype. Everything was great about, BRC20, came to launch and it was just a little bit slow. And that kind of caused some FUD. So you had this whole wrapping situation going on where it was like, where BRC20 wrapped in ETH, and I was like, okay, well, how does that work? Kind of thing. But, that whole conversation was another, I guess that's a whole hour panel discussion as well on the whole wrapping thing. But it's all up in the air at the moment.
Yeah, I think that was actually a great answer, and kind of one I was hoping for, because if you look at the business as a priority, the business model as a fundamental priority, you're not really thinking about like a token launch, right? You have even Magic Eden that's in our space that waited so long, and then eventually after user experience success, they decided to launch a token. Or you have like the Poly markets or the pump funds that have success from business model first, then the token works out. There's not as much to risk there, but the opposite, I think you're right. There is more risk on the table. Love that answer.
No, I see some great companies out there, and I'm like, you're an amazing product, but you just don't need a token. Like, and again, we're questioning ourselves because a token does make sense, of course, for many reasons in terms of monetary funds, monetary value reasons. Of course, who doesn't want a token to make a lot of money, right? But on the other side of things, we're looking at, if we really want to stick around, not just this product makes the most sense in a bear market. I'm completely putting it out there because it's the bull market is when you see, Sally from down the road who just bought Bitcoin from her local liquor store and has decided to, what's going on with this Ordinals? Let me buy one, right? But then when you've got DeFi earners, individuals who know how to farm and stake, and these kind of people who are going to be wanting to use this in the bear market when their job is simply to earn money on a day in, day out basis, this is going to be a product that they want to use. So we're more thinking about what is this in the long run in terms of the short term. We sat 8 months on our hands thinking about the product that worked. 8 months is a very long time in the grand scheme of things when we could have launched this, on Fjord Foundry, for an example, and we didn't, because we knew that the bigger picture was something bigger. So I hope that answered your question.
Yep.
Amen. I got one last question. So right now we're seeing this huge AI boom, right? Anything AI is just absolutely going nuts. Do you guys have an AI strategy at all?
Listen, it would be stupid for me to sit here and say that we don't want to integrate or have anything to do with AI. Because that is, it is the way the world is going. I personally have been taking at least half an hour out of my week to learn more about AI, just as a thing to do, right? And I think everybody should. We're seeing agents. We're actually, exploring aspects of, in the future, building an agent just for our Telegram, our Twitter, right? So in terms of, would we look to do something? Of course we would. Whether it's as big as maybe, helping us with the mathematics and making sure that everybody earns well on this, it could be something as small or big as that. Or in the future, it could be something as a chatbot, or it could be, a whole AI-driven individual that you can come on and you can say, hey, I've got 1 BTC, go out and play with it for me. And this is my risk kind of thing. And you're just literally speaking to somebody who's going to do it all for you. And I think, if we weren't already, mind my English, but effed in the brain with TikTok and YouTube and Facebook and if you look at it, like the time span for music videos was 2 minutes, 50 seconds on average, and individuals were engaged. Now you have music videos and YouTube videos that are like, how can we pull people in the first 5 seconds? Because otherwise they're going to scroll straight past us. So that whole attention span is going to change. So we're already lazy as it is with the whole, mind. Bringing AI to this picture is just going to make us, even kind of like, oh, okay, AI can do it. Why do I need to do it? Kind of thing. So we are, but at this stage, it's probably going to be kind of, maybe I would say we would start thinking about this conversation after Q1.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm so excited for you guys, man. When you guys are on testnet, I would love to be a tester on this. It's just messing around in the background. It just seems so interesting.
Yeah, no, for sure. We're actually rolling out a little ordinal collection as well very soon. So that's kind of like an incentivized way of individuals to test this platform out. That's all up in the air as well. We're like, okay, cool. If we're not going to look at doing a token, then we maybe look at doing an ordinal collection. That makes more sense for individuals to own something, to be a part of the team. But again, keep an eye out for our socials. Please do follow. I know you guys do already, but anybody who's listening out interested, there's so much more to come from us for sure.
Yeah, man. And you have any Thursday you're looking to hop on? Feel free.
No, for sure we will do. I just thought I'd missed a couple, but I guess everyone's been busy with the whole Christmas New Year showdown, and yeah, for sure we will be we'll be back soon with some more updates for you guys.
Amazing.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Haas, and we will talk to you soon.
Ciao. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, man. Another amazing show as always. 453 you guys in here. Are we still doing the other one, or has that been canceled?
No, it's just those two for now.
Okay.
For today.
Sounds good.
Yep.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys, and let's get out of here.
Yep. Like Shizzy said, 453 of you guys, watching in and spending your time with us. So we just want to appreciate each and every one of you, and that's not counting Rumble, so probably more like 500 something. But
yeah.
If you do have some extra time, we would gladly appreciate if you can check out our partners, Emblem Vault. They're actually doing a space right now, I think with Leonidas, which is awesome. They are the interoperability tool for Bitcoin Layer 1 ordinals, guys. You're going to be able to do their jump action with the LIT protocol, which should only cost you 1 gas price and time for the chain that you're going to. That should be released in Q1 of this year. So super excited about that. And don't forget, they are also building the AI wallet agent product for Bitcoin. It's going to be related to Tensorium, which is the Solana product that they started with there. And so you can learn more about them at emblem.vision. And then BetBTC is your predictions marketplace for the Bitcoin ecosystem. You can place bets on their marketplace with your Xverse wallet. All you got to do is, transfer the Bitcoin over. It takes 6 blocks, and then you can start placing your bets. They do have a future rune coming, so you can farm points right now. You can get 50 points by just signing up for a account there, and they have some fun Bitcoin related bets, over there, and then some sports bets. But the biggest feature that's yet to come, and it should be right around the corner, I think 3rd week of January is what they mentioned, but it's the create your own markets, guys. You're going to be able to earn off of the total volume of markets that you created with your BetBTC account. So learn more about these guys at betbtc.win. And then BitPerp, the perps and leverage DEX of the Bitcoin ecosystem. They have some big major news. I wish that we could spill it right now, but it's going to be coming very, very soon. They do have the paper trading competition, should be live later today. We'll post something on our brand account about that once we get confirmation. But go and learn how to use their UI. You can have a chance, if you get a high enough P&L in the paper trading competition, to earn part of that 10,000 USDT. You can learn more at bitperp.io. And then Fluid tokens. We had a meeting with Raul this morning. Super exciting. These guys are the first to bring Bitcoin Layer 1 retail staking vaults to you guys. If you did stake your dog go to the moon, make sure that you unstake that. You can unstake, receive your dog go to the moon original amount that you staked, and the reward dog go to the moon and memento mori all in one transaction when you unstake. So super, super cool there. Also look out for another dog go to the moon staking vault that's going to be coming up, because the dog army has made their statement. They want another one. They reached out to them. So that's going to be coming up very, very soon. These guys are just crushing it, man. And they're going to be building on Arch too, by the way. We just mentioned that earlier. So they're everywhere. But yeah, learn more about them at fluidtokens.com. You can click on the Bitcoin logo there to go to their Bitcoin side of things. And then Merlin Chain, your #1 scaling solution for Bitcoin native L1 assets and protocols. If you are a builder on Bitcoin L1 and you want your protocol to be a bit more flexible, and you want to be able to trade an asset or something like that, go to Merlin Chain. for the builders, they have great builder grants. You just got to apply. A couple of our partners applied and got accepted to it. So all you got to do is apply there, and it doesn't hurt to try. And they have great builder support. And if you're a retail user, you can swap like on Uniswap, but it's called merlinswap.org. They have a synthetic version of Dog Go to the Moon there. And please don't forget about our integrated partners in Foxy, which is building the metaverse on Bitcoin called the Bitverse, and their first-person shooter game, which we will be live streaming on Saturday morning, called Clan Wars. And then Ordinal Hive is an aggregator Ordinal marketplace for Bitcoin L1 and L2. You're going to be able to find the cheapest Ordinals around on Ordinal Hive. We thank you so much for checking out our partners.
Yep. If you guys wouldn't mind, if you have a Rumble account, come over here, follow us. We just started going live here. It would help the algorithm if we get some more followers. If you guys have a Rumble account, and if not, maybe make one and then follow us there. But if you guys check out ordinalrevolution.com, we have some of the best articles dating all the way back to last year. If you know someone just entering the space, please send them our website. We really feel like it can help them get started and code up to where we are today. If you guys need a VPN, we have the best VPN. That's Nord, 70% off coupon. If you're going to get it, make sure you guys are 7% off, and you should get a VPN. You do not want to be going through the internet, clicking on stuff. They get your IP address, but eventually get to your address. We're Bitcoiners. We don't want people knowing where we live, right? Self-custody is a huge thing, and that's the last thing we need, right? People finding out where we live. So definitely get a VPN and get our 70% off coupon with Nord. If you guys are going to Bitcoin at 2025 Las Vegas, we had someone reach out to us this morning, like, yo, where you guys have a coupon for this, right? But yes, it's on our website, ordinalrevolution.com. So definitely check out everything here. If you guys need merch for that event or any event, or just kind of lounge around in the house, and we have some of the best Ordinals merch out there. Your friends will question, what the hell is on your shirt? I own it. It's an Ordinal. If you guys want us to add something, add your Ordinal. Just let us know. Reach out to us. We can do that for you absolutely free. We'll put it on the site so anyone can buy it as well. So just let us know if you guys want us to add anything. Not bullish enough shirt. We have so much more. We go to hoodies, hats, jackets. My favorite of the hoodies. It's hoodie season. I usually rock a hoodie all day, except when I'm down here doing my thing. But this is the hoodie that I recently bought. I love it. It's comfortable. It's awesome. It's Chancellor on the brink of second bailout. People read it and have no idea what it is, but as Bitcoiners, we know that is what Satoshi wrote in the Genesis block. So definitely check out everything at ordinalrevolution.com. And guys, we are live Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 4 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. We appreciate every single one of you guys. Until tomorrow.
Peace.
We OG, or no OG. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Rooms is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit found fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, like it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nuki on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. Started Satoshi's nothing above me.